Hello, hello, hello. I'm Isaac, and I'm the mayor of this soon-to-be-doomed town.
And I'm Claire, and I ate 100 strawberries.
And this is...
Make that
That
game!
Game!
Where we pitch the latest
The greatest...
new video game ideas.
That... have very low chances of getting made. We're just the idea people here.
Well, first, I do want to say hello, YouTube. If you're watching.
What's up, YouTube?
If you're not watching on YouTube, thank you, because that gives us more data about our subscriptions and listeners. But if you're interested in watching us on YouTube, we're there.
Should we introduce the idea to YouTube?
Yeah, we can introduce the show a little, I guess. Like, it's, episode 27, I want to say.
Yeah, that sounds
Anyway,
right.
So on this show, we talk about game design. So we honk and bonk games that we've played and talk about what we like and don't like about those games. We also pitch new game ideas that will never be made because we have no intention on going through with these game ideas, and we'll discuss the game design elements of those. And then in my favorite section, we do rapid fire pitch round where we have 3 random words that we must create games out of in the moment. Now I can say live on tape and it's real. Sort of. All right. But that's our show, and we'll start off with Isaac. What have you been up to with the gaming world lately? What does that look like for you?
Not a whole lot, I'll be honest. So I played a little bit of Banished, which is a game that I will be honking and bonking. I played a little bit of Baba Is You, which is a cute little puzzler game where you're like a little rabbit dog.
I've played that. I like that.
Yeah, it's fun. You push words around and like you form sentences that change the rules of the level, and that's how you solve puzzles. So like Baba Is You is the name. It's an example sentence. Most levels have the rule Baba Is You. So there will be word blocks like Baba Is You. There will be like rock, push, move. So if you push things around to form the sentence rock is push, that means you can then push rocks on the level around. If you push rock so that it pushes Baba out of place, the sentence becomes rock is you, and now you're controlling the rocks on the level.
Yeah, it might sound complicated, or at least it might sound complicated to those who are like me with their gaming experience, but I played it. I really like it. It's super cute, and it's not complicated at all. Well, the puzzles are hard, but...
Oh, yes. There was one of them that I was looking at. Just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, the actual play is what's not hard, so...
Yeah.
But the puzzles
it's very intuitive once you start doing stuff, and it builds up at a nice pace. It's a pretty well-designed little puzzler. Maybe I should honk and bonk that sometime. But besides that, so Banished, Baba Is You... I'm trying to think if I've played anything else in the last week. Nothing's coming to mind, but I will say I do have a little bit of gaming news.
Do tell.
Masahiro Sakurai, Masahiro Sakurai, creator of such beloved title franchises as Super Smash Brothers and Claire, you might have heard of this franchise. I know that you haven't played like a lot of like games, but have you ever heard of Kirby?
Oh yeah, actually, I have heard of the game Kirby.
Yeah, it's a game series. There's many Kirby games.
No, I have. Yeah. I'm familiar with the brand.
Yeah, so this guy made all of them. But anyways, he started a YouTube channel of his own. Well, actually, maybe I shouldn't talk about this because this is
competing.
It's a competing YouTube channel because it is game design oriented. He puts his thoughts about game design on these YouTube videos. He just started it up last week. We're out of a job.
Yeah, no, that sounds actually illegal. No.
I have not. Yes, very illegal. I have not watched any of the videos yet, but just figured I'd break the news, and next week I will watch all of his videos.
Yeah.
And then pretend like his ideas are my ideas for this podcast.
We love ideas. We appreciate ideas. We don't steal ideas here. If you want, though, give the link to me, and I'll put the link in our show notes because, like I said, we're just joking. We do support all creators, and I'd actually like to watch it too. So.
Yes. Yeah. Oh no. I hope that there's an episode that just breaks down Kirby. But besides that, I just found out literally 5 minutes ago that there is going to be a Minecraft real-time strategy game. And even though I haven't played Minecraft in a long time, for some reason, Minecraft real-time strategy game blows my mind.
Now, what would that?
Gonna play it.
What would that mean? Because so I know Minecraft. Let me just tell you what I think Minecraft is right now. I've actually never played. I've watched people play, but I've never played. So there's two modes.
Right.
I've mostly watched children play. I should also preface with that. So there's two modes. One mode is where you mostly just like build stuff, and you have to collect resources to like do the buildings. Like you need wood to make floors that are made of wood, etc.
Yes.
Then the other mode is like you have battle opportunities, so you can like make weapons and like fight people. I don't know why you're fighting people. I don't know what the point is. I also know that you can like light people's houses on fire because you told me a story about that.
I lit my own house on fire.
Right. So
on accident.
That's what I know about Minecraft. So how would this game be different? / what did I get wrong?
So I mean, you're mostly correct.
Good.
So the key difference there is real-time strategy. So Minecraft is a first-person, maybe it has a third-person camera mode, but anyways, you're controlling one character and you're Minecrafting as that character, whereas a real-time strategy game is going to be a lot more like the most of the other games that I play. So like Age of Empires, where it's a zoomed-out view, you are building now. None of this might apply to the Minecraft real-time strategy game because all I saw was a headline that said Minecraft real-time strategy game announced at Gamescom 2022, which was I think last week or earlier this week. But so a real-time strategy, zoom out, build bases, collect resources, build workers and soldiers, and then command vast armies and send them against each other. So that's I guess the key difference is the scope of what you're controlling.
It'll be interesting to see what it's like.
Yeah, and I'm really curious on if it's going to be like the normal Minecraft style, like in most real-time strategy games, there's like a gold mine, and you send your workers to the gold mine, and then they start mining and bring it back to your base. But I wonder if you actually collect blocks. I wonder if the world is going to be voxel based, like the rest of Minecraft is. So like Minecraft is made of all these cubes. You can pick up a cube, like mine a cube. It goes into your inventory. Now you can place that cube anywhere in the world. I hope that that's maintained in the real-time strategy aspect and they don't have to dumb that down, because that opens up a whole new world of real-time strategy that I don't think has ever existed. Yeah. So I'm super excited
for that. I think. I'm sorry, I was going to say that's what I think is most intriguing. Like if they don't keep that, I don't know why they're doing this at all. But
yeah, what's the
as we talked about last week, Netflix has games that are not about shows. So like I don't know what to expect anymore. I don't know what to do. So
yeah. So Claire, question: do you have any notable gaming endeavors to talk about?
I've been
any news to break?
Couple things. Well, not news. One news and some games. Oh. So I feel like when I talk about the games I've been playing, I usually focus on like quote unquote like big games, like games, I don't know, with a capital G, but I'm pretty much always playing Matching 10. And there's an episode where I talk, but it's a match 3 mobile game. And I'm playing that a lot, and I'm always kind of playing that. And so I just wanted to point that out. Like,
Yep.
I'm usually playing Matchington, and yeah, that's continued to be fun. I usually play Ring Fit. I talked about Ring Fit on an episode. I was on vacation, and then I was traveling for work, so I hadn't been doing Ring Fit, and I will say my legs were actually quite sore after I got back to it. So,
Wow.
yeah, so they made a leg day world basically. It's like
An entire world of leg.
Yeah.
You can't skip leg day. It's
you can't
it's
skip
vital.
you can't skip any day. So actually the world is the 4 pillars of like exercise, I guess, and I just did leg day route basically.
Okay.
And so I'm assuming the next few are like arms, core, and maybe cardio. I don't know what the last one's going to be. Oh, it might be yoga actually, because that's the other type of exercise they have.
There's yoga in Ring Fit?
Yeah, you hold a pose and then it gives you points for that. So, yeah, you can also use it to restore your health, which I think is kind of fun. Like you can do a yoga pose to get like hearts back. It's kind of cool. Anyway, so I've been doing that, but I also have tried a couple games. So I went back to Animal Crossing literally just last night. And as it was loading, I'm like, why am I doing this? I don't want to play this game. But I did get a cute little outfit, and I am going to design a hospital. So in Happy Home Academy.
Wait, so the game was loading, and you were
I was like, why did I do
the
this?
realization,
Yeah.
you were like, this is actually not.
I was like, what am I here for, cleaning?
Where
Like, I don't want to do this. But then I got into it, and I was like, okay, like I do want to like at least go play the room design one. And I visited Freckles, and their room is just so bad that like I really want to earn that next step of being able to decorate my villagers' rooms. So I was playing Animal Crossing.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And then I also tried with Isaac 2 Kirby games. She didn't even bring up. As if I don't know Kirby. He's right here. So rude.
I was doing a bit. I was doing jokes.
I know. I'm doing a bit too. I'm also doing a bit. I can bit. So we played Kirby's Dream Buffet, which we've talked about being excited about. We got it. We played it, which is a party racing game. And then we also...
I won.
You did. You won every single... Well, the computer won the first time, right?
No, we don't talk about that. Cut that. Cut. Marking.
But then he won every other...
Cut. There we go.
He won every other time. And then we also played Kirby Dream Allies.
Star Allies.
Kirby Star Allies.
Yes.
Which I will talk about later, so I'm not going to talk too much into that. Because I want to save it for a honky bonk.
So then... Speaking of... Oh. I thought that was
it was going to be, and then I realized I have one news. So one of our fave publishers, Graffiti Games...
Yes.
Who have released such titles as Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion, as well as Lila's Sky Arc, 2 games we know and love on this pod. Although, Isaac, you haven't played Lila at all yet.
No, I was waiting for you to beat it.
You want me to beat it first? I didn't know that. All right, I'll get back on that. I'm really close. I'm in like the last section, and I just stopped, as is my... That's just how I roll.
That's your modus operandi.
It is. Yeah, I realized I have Wander Song, I have Lila, I have a game called Ori. I think those are the top 3 that I have, just like gathering dust in like the Switch. Anyway, so the news is that they have a new game called Restless Soul, which is coming out on September 1st. It is now available in the Nintendo store to pre-order, and I will definitely be playing it. It's really cute. You play as a ghost who, well, it looks cute. I don't know if the actual game is cute, but you play as a ghost who is trying to like get back to the living, I think. And it looks like it has some snarky dialogue, some like Link's Awakening style combat. It looks fun, so I'm excited. That's my news. Good. Now we can move on to honks and bonks. Isaac, do you have anything you want to honk and or bonk today?
Yeah, I'm going to honk and bonk Banished by Shining Rock Software LLC. It is... So I wrote my honks and bonks down, but I did not... So the way I set my notes, I have a small description of the game before I go into my list of honks and bonks. I did not change the description, so I was about to read the description for Valheim, which I honked and bonked last time.
You take more notes than I do.
And for the YouTubers, honks are good, bonks are
I really
bad.
like the
So
idea
when
that
we
there's people, and maybe there are. If you're one, if you're somebody who just found us on YouTube and did not listen to any other previous episode, leave a comment below.
yeah.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Um all right, so Banished is not a Viking game. So you are basically you let's see how to describe it since I didn't write it down. It is a city builder slash colony management game. You start with 5 families, a storage barn, and some scarce resources in the middle of a wild land. And so you have to build a little self sustaining base and grow your colony. I don't like to call it colony, but I guess that's what it is inherently. But yeah, you grow, you expand, your families get interspersed with each other, have children, you gain more and more people, you have more supply requirements, and sometimes a tornado rips through your town and destroys everything, and there's nothing you can do about it. Anyways,
Wow.
um, so one thing I noticed as I was playing it is I have played a lot of other games of this genre that I think have advanced the genre a little better. So this isn't a new genre by any means, but I feel like Banished, when it first came out in 2015, was really big news. I think it did. I remember people talking about it a whole lot, and not a lot of people were talking about like the city builder like genre at this point. And I don't know if all the other games that I've played are just after that point and were able to learn lessons from Banished or what, but I found myself just playing things and just being annoyed by a lot of like missing features.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily missing, but like compared to other games of this genre that I've played. So I have mostly bonks in this one, but that does not mean by no means is this like a terrible game. Do not play. I definitely see appeal in it. The number one honk, I guess, that I will give it is it's a slimmed down, kind of easy to understand version of a game in this genre. So because it's missing so many things, it's pretty easy to grasp and like jump into. Like I could probably give Claire Banished tonight and she'd at least be able to get it working, like the basic gameplay working in half the time it would take her for I'm trying to think of it, like Songs of Six or Rise to Ruins, even, which are other games in the genre, which I will probably talk about at some point in the future because this is my genre. If you this is your first episode here, this is I love city builders. Anyways, simplified down to base elements, easy to jump into once like things click. Second thing, the family, this is part of it being like simple and easy to get into. Family dynamic is super easy. If you have an open house, if there are 2 people of age, they will move in together and then shortly they'll have a kid. Whereas a lot of other games have, I'm going to go in my first bonk, villagers have a lot of personality traits or something. Like if you've played Rail or Roller Coaster Tycoon or like Planet Zoo or something, each visitor has like, I like specific animals, I like soda, I like buying, I don't like certain things. Usually these kinds of games will have personality for your little AI blobs. Because there isn't any here, you only have vague ideas of your villagers' needs. They'll be like, I'm hungry, I'm cold, my hands hurt. And then you're like, okay, I know exactly what that means. They're not like, I would like a house by the ocean. I would like a different variety of food, etc., etc. Which means that there's not a whole lot of depth to the gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Like once you figure out the basic thing, you just kind of start. Once you figure it out, you cruise through, and then there's like nothing happening
Mm-hmm.
anymore. You're like, okay, I have played
Got it.
Banished. I've beaten
Got
it.
it.
And then the second bonk I want to say is there's disasters. You can turn disasters on or off, but I play with disasters because why not? I like the challenge. But one of the disasters is a tornado, and it just randomly rolls through, and its exact path across the map is like randomly determined. And there's nothing you can do about it. Like, once the tornado happens, it either hits your village or it doesn't hit your village. And if it hits your village, it destroys everything in its path. And you can't directly control your villagers and be like, hey, get out of the tornado's path. If they're assigned to like pick up a log that it happens to be directly underneath the tornado, they walk into
Wow.
it and die.
Smart.
And then your entire village is like, oh, I've got to go pick up that log, and then they die, which is classic Dwarf Fortress comedy, but I did not like it.
I think it's
Not
funny.
one bit. And my final bonk, and it's kind of the same thing as the tornado. I guess not really. Your village can just die of old age because the family dynamic is so basic. Like, kids won't be born unless a family lives in their own house, and after a certain age, the parents will stop creating kids.
Right.
So you can have a village of like 75 people, and then they just stop having kids. And then all of them get to the point where they won't have kids anymore. And then you just cannot make new villagers anymore. So once that generation dies, your entire village dies. That happened to me once, and I was like, "Whoa, why am I not getting new kids? I've got so many happy and healthy villagers, and they all um they all have houses, and they're all of breeding age," which is like a weird way to put it when they're people and not animals, but like they should be having kids. Oh, I need empty houses for them to start a family to have kids. It's just one of
Wait,
those things. Once you figure it out, you just move
I'm a little
forward.
confused. Like, so they are already in a house, but they need another house
Yes.
for the
So
new
okay.
kids to
So
live
you
in. Got
yes,
it.
you have Jack and Jane. Jack and Jane have a son. They live in a house together. Then you have another family that has a daughter. They live in a house together. You have two houses in your village. Jack and Jane get to 20 years old and continue living in their parents' house. They get to 30 years old. They're still living in their parents' house. 40 years old, still living in their parents' house. And then they can't have kids anymore.
Right, because after
If you
that, you
build a
can't have any kids anymore.
Yeah. If you build a house, if you build a third house, um, the kids will like instantaneously move into that house, and then like 9 months later, they will have a kid.
Wow, this sounds like a nightmare for the NPCs. Like, if I was an NPC in this game, it would be like torture. Like, this could be a horror film.
It's fine because the NPCs are so basic. That's
Yeah. Well, that's what's
what I
scary.
was saying
It's like
is
a robotic kind of like vivarium style terror.
yeah. Yeah, so like without the personality, I don't have any attachment to any of these characters. So like a lot of the times when I'm playing these games, like you saw me playing Catizens. When I
Yes.
showed you Catizens, we formed bonds to these random AI NPC like cats because one of them would be like, I hate
Oh my
socializing,
gosh.
and if they were within three like tiles, which were pretty big, of any other cat, they
You'd be
would
like,
get a mood
no,
hit.
absolutely not. Yeah, no, we took those cats into our hearts, even though we only played like I watched you play it for like what 30 minutes, and that's like, I think
If
I think
even.
about that antisocial cat so much.
Yeah, and so like you get these bonds with these villagers, and it makes it a lot more fun. Whereas like in Banished, I never formed any bonds. I never learned any names because no one had anything unique going about them. It was just like, oh, okay. I would scan through the houses, see that I had some 15-year-olds, and that's I think what age they can start having kids. So another weird part about it is, and this isn't a honk or a bonk, this is just like a quirk of the system. Normally, when a kid turns 10, I think, they are considered an adult and they can get a job inside of your village. If you build a school, it changes the age that they're considered an adult, um,
Okay.
which was a very curious thing. So, like, I think it's 10. I want to say it was 10 because I remember having a house that had two 10-year-olds living
So
in
wait,
it
you're an adult when you're 10?
in this game. But if you build a school when they're 10, they switch to a student, and then I don't know what age they then become adults and can work and own their own house.
And The Sims does that too, where if you have the university expansion pack, this is Sims 2, but I think because Sims 4, you just automatically have young adult as a category. But it used to be in Sims 2 that you just went from teen to adult unless you had the university expansion pack, and then you unlocked young adult, but you could only be a young adult if you went to college.
Oh.
You couldn't be a young adult if you didn't go to college.
Thing.
So to me, like, it kind of makes sense. But what doesn't make sense is being 10.
Yeah,
are you kidding
and
me?
I guess I'd have to double check.
That's so creepy.
I'd have to double check to see if that's the actual age
That's so creepy.
It's happening at. But yeah, it's little things like that. So Banished, it's a fine game. It could be your first foray into city building to see if you like it, and if you play it and you're like, man, I sure wish my villagers had personalities I could latch onto. Then I have a list of games. Email us. I'll give you a whole list of games.
Make that game podcast at gmail.com.
And don't think too much about the implications of the world that it builds. Anyways, Claire, do you have honks and or bonks for a game that you'd like to describe to me?
Yeah, so I'm going to describe Kirby's Dream Buffet. It just came out. It's fresh off the press. It came out.
I played that one.
You did, yeah. So Isaac and I played together into like 2-player mode. Yep, that's what that's called.
Yeah.
And then I also played a little bit on my own. They do offer, so just to describe, so it's a racing game. The concept is you are a little Kirby. If you play with other people, you're different colors of Kirby, which is like they're different characters.
Yellow is Kirby.
Yeah, so I need to like get a little bit more up on my Kirby lore, obviously, but they're all different styles of the creature that is Kirby. But there's also some like random Waddle Dees in there, which we don't really understand why they're there, but it's great. And you race.
Oh yeah,
they're just there. They never win. I don't know what. I don't know.
They just start the level and then are done.
And you can't play as them. I mean, I guess I don't think you can have more than 4 players. It doesn't seem like it. So like, I don't think you could be like, oh, now I'm playing as a Waddle Dee. Anyway, so you race in a dessert-themed course, and your goal is to eat as many strawberries as you can, and whoever has eaten the most strawberries by the end of the course wins.
Okay.
That's the game. So pretty straightforward.
Sounds fun. Sounds like I could win that one easily.
You did win that one easily. Thank you for reminding me.
I'm a strawberry master.
Yes. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for that reminder of how much you are better at me at this game immediately. But yeah, so the honks. I really like the collectibles in this game, which surprised me. I was going to say super cute, but like it's Kirby. So obviously it's going to be cute. I don't know. Like I feel like I can't say that as a honk.
No, there's never been an ugly Kirby
game.
So
I feel like we could probably find one.
Well, there was that Kirby boy game that I linked you that one time. He had like the like strand of hair.
I don't remember that. I don't know if I clicked on that. If you sent it, I'll have to look. All right. Anyway, back to Kirby. This Kirby. So I really like the collectibles, which is weird for a racing game. But when you race, you get little outfits. Like right now, I have a little whipped cream hat. And I think that's really fun. And you can also get different colors, which I think is weird because Kirby is a very specific color of pink. And I don't like changing it up. But hey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's your thing. That's your thing.
Because it changes the character. It's not Kirby if it's not
You can
pink.
also collect cookies. And Isaac, I don't think you knew this, but when the cookies that you collect from like winning things and getting achievements, you can decorate a cake with on the main screen. So you can like put the cookies on a cake, like in whatever order you want.
Okay.
Yeah. So like that's...
Does that do
It's just cute
anything?
and fun.
It's just cute and fun. Okay.
I like it. And then you can win new musical tracks. And when you win those, they look like a little record cookie. Like it's like a circle with like chocolate icing and a little star.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's pretty good. And I always like a good collectible because that helps motivate me to play the game. That's why they're there. So they better work. It's also hard, which is a honk. Like, this game is tough, I think. I don't know. I don't think it's super easy. We started playing on, I think it was called spicy mode, which was like, so they had like sweet, normal, spicy, and then something else.
Oh, yeah.
And so we started on spicy because I played the whole entire Kirby and the Forgotten Land on wild mode, which is the hard mode, because that's what Isaac started on, and I started playing with him, and we never changed it back, which is good because I got all those like points for playing on wild mode. But I was like, well, if I played the whole of that on wild mode, I should be able to do spicy on this. No, incorrect. Not true. It's a hard game. There's lots of challenging like shapes. You're like rolling around a donut. There's like sticky areas. There's a lot going on. The fact that you're racing, but you also have to think about how many strawberries you're eating. I don't know. I found it a challenging game, which I think is good. It's like not something you play once and you're like, well, that was a yawn.
Challenging, and not just that, but a wide variety of obstacles, which I think from like that, I think I talk about that with honks all the time. It's like if you only have like 3 things that impede you in the game, you can only do so many combinations of that, thus the game gets stale and boring.
Mm-hmm.
So I think just having a number of interesting obstacles that you can combine in interesting ways.
Yeah, like there's cookies and moving around and
cream,
just stuff everywhere. Yeah. So that's good, I think, too. And then the other thing that I like is it is a really good party game, because like most racing games, there's no learning curve. So, I mean, the learning curve is figuring out like the terrain and, you know, like those kinds of things, but everyone can pick up a Switch controller and play this game. So it's a great one to pull out if we ever had people come over, but also just for Isaac and I, if we just want like do a couple rounds of something, like that's a super easy thing and fun thing to do. So I like that they've created a pretty good play together game. That's what I'll call it. But I do have some facts, and the first one is related to that. Is it's just not as fun to play alone, which I guess would probably be. I've never played Mario Kart alone, so it's not really designed to play alone. I was playing it alone, so I'm trying to get better so I can beat Isaac one day. Is the dream? That's the real dream buffet.
Fat chance.
Yeah, true fat chance because I couldn't even beat the CPU. So
on sweet mode,
I didn't play. I was playing on normal.
Oh,
but still, it's not great. So yeah, so it's not super fun to play alone. It's still fun, but I don't know. You know, it's definitely designed to be a party game. The other bonk is if you know Kirby, then you know copy abilities, which basically is like, excuse me, the abilities that you can use in games. So like Kirby classically will like absorb, oh, now I have sword, now I have fire, now I have drill, now, you know, like etc.
Sword Kirby being on Claire's
Sword
shoulder
Kirby.
right now. For those on YouTube, you see that, but
it.
For those listening,
oh yeah, I do. I have.
I'm
Sword
describing
Kirby.
it to you.
Thank you for describing it. Yeah, so those are really fun. Those are like a big part of Kirby games. And I feel like this does not really have a lot of those, and the ones they have are not great. Like, they have a fire burst that's pretty good. They have jelly, which is where you just kind of like turn into jelly, and I honestly don't know the benefit of that yet. I haven't really figured that out. You go a little faster. I don't know. And then they have, there is like a carrot drill that you can only use during some of the levels, but that exists. But like, yeah, I just feel like the copy ability is what makes Kirby kind of unique to other games.
Yeah.
And it's not really as present as I would expect in a Kirby game.
And even without copy, like the original Kirby game, Kirby's Dream Land, one of my first video games, that had the inhale and shootout ability, which this game completely, there's no
I think almost every Kirby game I've played, well, I've only played 2 others, but they both had the inhale thing. And like, that would actually be kind of fun for this. Like, if you could like eat a cookie and then spit it at someone, like that's kind of fun to play. But part of it is because you're rolling. I forgot to mention that, like, you're not in a cart. Like, Kirby is the cart. Kirby is rolling like a little marble. That's how you play. So I realize that's like a huge visual element that you need to know is happening right now. Oh, and also the more you eat, the bigger you get and the faster you roll. So it's like pretty fun. But we're in the box. We're not supposed to talk about why this is fun.
You're right. This game is bad and dumb in this
Yeah, so
section.
it's not as much, I'd like to see more copy abilities. I'd like to kind of like it to feel more like that. And then the other thing is like it might be too hard for me. I don't know. I could see getting pretty frustrated if I play this like 10 to 12 times and still can't win.
Oh
I don't
wow.
know. I mean, I haven't gotten there yet, but I could see like having a bunch of friends over and I'm just, so last every time. That might get to me after a while. That might get to me.
Yeah, it's got to throw you a bone, and like I think Mario Kart does a good
Yes.
job of. It has enough powers and stuff. Like the blue shell is always a popular one that wins friends. Like Kirby, I'm surprised that there's no concept of
I
that.
haven't, not that I've seen
like
yet, right? So that doesn't mean there isn't. I've only played a little, but.
I feel like it would be in like free roam.
Oh, that's
Because free roam
true.
had every other power,
Well, so it
right? Like
didn't.
it had
Is the
jelly and
is the
fire.
thing
It
because
didn't.
when you play, so they have other sections called battle royales. When you're in that, there are different ones. Like there was one that was giant tongs that comes down and tries to scoop you.
Oh, that was I thought that when that was happening, I thought that was just like a thing
I
that
also
randomly
thought that
happened
was
during
just a
Battle
thing, but then I
Royale.
realized it's actually a like ability.
Oh,
So
interesting. Okay.
yeah, so I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, it doesn't seem to have as many like self-regulating things as Mario Kart does. And I mean, I'll say though, even in Mario Kart, I used to lose all the time, like real bad. But I
Mm.
think for me, it has to be funny. So like Mario Kart was good because I would lose so terribly that it was funny. So it didn't feel as bad. But with this, it's like I was like right there, right? Like I was like an inch away from like second place. And that feels bad.
Not to steal a potential bonk, but I do remember that looking because like that just looks super frustrating when you were about to get second
Yeah.
place.
And then another
And
one just literally hopped right there. And then I.
like maybe describe describe that mechanism so that the
That's
viewers
tough to describe,
can.
but okay, we'll try. So when you get to the end of a race, there's 3 cakes, obviously, as one does. There's one in the very front of the race. So you're like driving down, the very right in front of you is a really big cake that says 50, and that has 50 strawberries. And then to the left of it is a smaller cake that says 20 with 20 strawberries. And then to the right of it is a cake that says 10, right? So you have these 3 cakes. Now, obviously, you're going for the 50, but if you're not first, someone's already eaten the 50. You can't get it. So you have to veer one way or the other. So I like veer to the 20, obviously, that's the next best one. And then literally I'm like right next to the cake and someone else just goes like bloop and just ate the cake for me. Great. But it's like at that point, I don't really have a lot of time to go all the way back around to the 10 cake. So by the time I get there, it's already eaten. And then I'm just last place now. And yeah.
And like any other game, there would be just a finish line and you would cross it and you'd get second place.
Right.
But this one adds complication
Right.
to it, which I mean, I get it. It's fun, it's cute, eat the cake, but holy cow, did that look frustrating every time it happened. And with the one time that the computer beat me, I think that's what happened to me as well. I think I was able to get like the 10 or the 20 or something, but it jumped right in front of me like as I was about to get the one. So cool.
Yeah. So I think it'd be fun to try this game with 2 other people so we can play everyone is a person. And I think that'd be cool. Someday we'll have friends. But yeah, that's it. I think it's a super cute party game. And, I'm all for Kirby. So definitely check it out if you're a big Kirby fan like me. Now that we've talked about games that do exist, Isaac, do you want to pitch me a game that doesn't exist?
I do. All right, here's my pitch for the day. Here's my formal, thought out pitch. This is Date Hate.
Ooh, I'm intrigued and slightly concerned.
It's a calendar themed shoot 'em up roguelite.
I am no longer concerned.
No, so all right. What it is it is an abstraction of like scheduling. So this could be, although I'm not technically designing it as such, this could sort of be one of those motivation apps, those gamified, like stick to a routine, like accomplish your goals, gamified scheduling kind of thing, like a planner app. But what the gameplay is you have like each level is a year.
Mhm.
So you have a yearly goal, which is represented by gameplay terms like either points or some other resource within the game. So I figure that you'd have like multiple kinds of currency or just like multiple kinds of points that doing different things will get you.
Mhm.
Um, so like if one of your tasks is like saving, you get like money currency, like money points.
Okay.
Uh, if it's exercising, you get
Sweat points.
exercising points, sweat points, something like that. And then so your yearly goal is basically like get X of this points, X of this points, etc., etc. And the way that you get your yearly goal is each month you plan out a month and you fill the month with as many things
Uh-huh.
as you can fit in. But then once you've done that, you then play the month as like a shoot 'em up kind of game. So enemies spawn at the top. So each task in your schedule represents a specific like encounter that you then have to fight, like in the order that you scheduled it.
Okay.
So you say, okay, I have a work meeting on Monday that I need to attend, or something like work something. And so it'll spawn certain kinds of enemies that will behave in a certain way in like a certain pattern
Mhm.
that you destroy, you gain work points for whatever, hard work, effort points. And then for Tuesday, you have date night. So like food and like romance themed enemies are coming down and you destroy them and you get points for them. And then at the end of the month, depending on like which things you actually beat and which events you did, you get a certain amount of resources, you compare it to your yearly goal, and then you plan the next month. And by the end of the year, you do 12 of these levels overall. You have to have met all of your different goals.
Cool.
I hope that this made, because I started feeling like the Always Sunny
Yeah.
meme where I'm like trying to explain the conspiracy theory like on the wall behind me. I realized that I was probably losing the plot a little bit despite my great notes
Right.
here.
A little bit.
But
A little
like,
bit.
do, okay, but do you get like the core concept? Like you get to build. See here, let me describe this completely taking away the veneer of the
Calendar.
theme
Yeah.
here. So you get to plan the level that you get to build the level that you're going to play.
Mhm.
So you get to balance the risk and
Yeah.
the reward of the level according to what you think that you're capable of
Mhm.
in trying to achieve a long-term
Yeah.
goal. So it's really about the risk reward stuff. Like you as a player go, okay, I can handle like this work meeting. Like, sorry, I didn't explain one aspect of this. Each schedule thing, like each month, you'll have a semi-random list of things that you can add to the
Yeah. I kind
schedule.
of guessed that would be the case. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you have a semi-random list of things that you can add to the schedule, and then you choose what you actually want to put into your planner. And you can completely ignore some things, and that has consequences of you won't get the points towards your goal or whatever. And some things might be harder, some things might be easier. If you do December as a completely easy month, then you might not get the resources that you need by the end to meet your yearly goals because you need to do the harder stuff to get more
Okay.
points. Anyways, that's Date Hate.
So I don't think it could be a habit app because it sounds like you're playing it not in real time.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
realized that. I just kind of threw the habit app in there as I was beginning to describe it, but then as I was going on, I was like, no, this is too real time. This is too not real
Yeah.
time.
Like,
This is just a fun theme on a core gameplay
Yeah, because
concept.
truly, if it was a habit app, the habit is what a lot of people do just in their, which is called scheduling events. That's all it is. But if you're playing it like a game, then it's different. It's funny. It's an interesting concept. I don't know how it would play out, honestly. I think I need to see like a test or like a.
Well, so here I'll put it this way. So Mario Maker, you're familiar with that. So imagine if it was Mario Maker, only you had like pre-made sections of levels that you could arrange.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's more just
ways.
like, does it actually function like a game? Like, would I? Because if I can set up my own levels, like, what's the point of me making it hard?
Well, because then you get more rewards.
Okay.
And you need a certain amount of rewards to actually beat. So the yearly goals I would consider would be like extremely like lofty.
So would they like, you can't pick your own? Would they be assigned to you?
Yes. Okay. Yes. The
so
yearly
I feel like
goals
that's an important
are
part of the game design because
okay.
Because most people would set their own yearly goal, right? Like that's part of living. And
that's true. This is another reason why it wouldn't be a good habit
That's
app.
true. Yeah. So if the game is setting your own goals and you're just choosing when you accomplish certain parts of those goals, I think that makes a lot more sense. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Cool. All right.
Yay. So, you got anything for me? You got anything for this guy?
I do have stuff for you.
Oh.
I do. That rhymes. I'm singing in time. Okay. Wow, that almost went into the Donkey Kong rap. All right. So my working title...
Bonus episode.
Yes, bonus episode will be us creating a Donkey Kong rap.
Or, well, just reciting it.
Reciting it and then writing our own.
All right. You really want to write?
I want to write one.
Fine. All right. Allowed.
Good. All right. So the working title of my game is called Growlin'. So it's like growling, but with an N apostrophe, growlin'. Yeah.
Okay.
And so
I know where this is going,
well,
I think.
Maybe not. So I didn't write a lot of notes for this. I was hoping it would all just kind of come to me in an inspiration as I talked. We'll see. But I wrote, you play as a growler, a.k.a. the big jug of beer.
You're
a growler, yes, and you growl like you have like a mouth and like features of growl, like you growl, like you're growling. That's why it's called growling.
Good.
And you live in the brewery, and you have to get as much. You have to fill up. You have to growl all the beer. You have to growl all the beer. That's I don't know.
So I'm considering, based on what you just said, I'm considering this a vibe check.
Okay, yeah.
For the new listeners, that's when one of us comes with a vague idea of a game, a vibe of a game, and then we kind of work through some mechanics together. So, all right, here's what I'm thinking. Kirby Dream Buffet, you play as Kirby as a marble. You roll around and you collect food. I'm thinking Growlin' is like that without the party game. So the growler rolls around, but because it's like lopsided and misshapen, you can't just roll around like perfectly. You have to.
I always have a like. If I was to say like my gaming wheelhouse, I love a game where the physics are funny, like where they work, like it's like hard to do the thing you're supposed to do, which I guess also is frustrating, but I also find it just so delightful.
And this is exactly what this is. You have an awkward shape that you have to roll around, and the beer that you fill yourself up with is like leftover beer from the patrons of the bar. So you basically make this like disgusting like jungle juice concoction.
So, okay, I want to finish here, yeah.
Oh, well, that's pretty much it. So like so it's like after hours, the bar staff does not clean up, and then you just fill yourself up.
Well, so I'm going to take some of that, but like, this is my game.
Okay.
I guess my part is like, well, I thought of this because I just came from one of my favorite local breweries. Like, they clean up. They're not going to make gross beer. This is good beer. I like good beer. This is a craft brewery.
Obviously this is not that brewery.
No, but like, you get a growler of good beer. I've never heard of people who have growlers who get like, can I have this growler of Miller Lite, please? Like, that's just not it. So I think maybe it's like you're picking up I like the idea of it being like Kirby, and maybe your route is like through the brewery itself, and you're just picking up like there's like little hops or like little like malts, little beer
Okay.
ingredients, and you have to get them, and you have to get a certain amount before you reach the end of the brewery to like move on to the next level. So I mean, it's a quick and easy game. I also really want the face on the thing.
Okay, so it's more like just an obstacle
Yeah.
course than like my idea would have been all about like you would have a goal, like fill yourself up, collect a certain amount
Well,
of stuff,
no,
whereas
that would
this,
be
it
the
sounds like
goal. Would be to collect a certain amount of
oh,
like the hops and the malt and the stuff like that.
and also cross the
Yeah.
finish line.
Oh,
Okay.
or it could be
Okay.
timed. Yeah, it could be timed.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
I was kind
Yeah.
of thinking. And then the more that you collect, the better points you have. So you finish the level with a better score.
Yeah, I think timed makes sense if
But
it's.
it's score versus
Yeah, I think
time.
it's time makes sense if it's single player. So. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like that. Yeah. The only thing I really wanted to change was the theming. Is like I didn't like those. Like it's after hours and the bar is a mess and we're making this disgusting juice, and I'm like, no. No, the bar is beautiful.
Fine.
It's going to be a beautiful hipster brewery, and that's what it is.
All right. Beautiful hipster brewery. So I don't know. What do you think? Is that growling, or do we still have some steps we need to take here?
I don't. We might still have some steps, but I'm tired, so I don't think. If I come up with, listeners, if you come up with any ideas for growling, please let us know. Email us, makethatgamepodcast@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. All right. Well, with the games pitched, it's time to pitch more games with less control.
Who could have guessed? Who could know?
Well, it's the rapid fire round.
It's the rapid fire. I feel like we need rapid fire round music, like pew pew pew. Rapid fire round.
Okay, I'll work on that. Since I don't do. Have we mentioned on the podcast yet, or do we just mention off?
I think
podcast
we only
and
mentioned
then say,
off
oh,
podcast.
we've never mentioned that.
Go for it.
I did the music.
Yeah, Isaac did it.
I'm the music
He did
man.
the beep boops for us, and we are so proud. So thank you, Isaac, for composing our wonderful intro and outro.
Yeah, no problem. And now I'm gonna have to do bit introduction songs.
Yeah, that actually helped if
bit.
So also off pod, Isaac was trying to do some not data, but I guess collecting some data from our previous episodes, and it was like frustrating to scroll through. This would help you find the right places.
Yeah, just listen for the tune.
And then I would know too, just looking at the file. Anyway, our first 3 words. Are you ready?
Have we introduced the bit?
I did at the beginning. So I'm just going to
all
say
right,
that's
well,
fine.
then,
Sorry,
all
that
right,
was a big sigh. Like I said, I'm a little sleepy.
That was an 8-pound sigh. All right.
I'm like, I just want to do the words.
I'm ready. I'm ready to hit the start button as soon as you start reading
all right,
words.
the words are quotation, arrange,
okay,
prayer. Yeah. I mean, there's an obvious one, right? There's an obvious one. What?
Okay. Well, so I don't know if this is what you mean by obvious, but you are a pastor leading mass, but it's like an ad libs style game.
Like Mad Libs, you mean? Is that what you said?
What
you
did I
might have
say?
said that. Sorry, I thought you said ad libs.
Oh, I might have said ad libs, but yeah, you. So I'm imagining it. Actually, no. Even more gamifying it. It's like Tetris with each, but instead of like random block shapes, it's prayer quotes that you have to arrange.
So I had a similar. I like the idea of the pastor, and like maybe he could mess up. I thought it would be like Bible quotes that are out of order, and you have to put them in order. So it's like a learn them up Christian style.
Oh, like Emily Blaster.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Oh, actually, that I do like
but
that.
I feel like it shouldn't.
I was just thinking, like, I don't know how you make the words into a Tetris thing without just like the words being shapes.
But what I'm not sure
or
about
the
is
prayers
this
being
like
shapes.
bad? Is this like what's the word?
Sacrilegious.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Is there something else we could?
It depends. Like you.
Yeah, like there's something besides the Bible we could draw from. Like, what's another like prayer.
Well,
just,
I mean, the thing about prayers is they're all from
yeah.
religions,
What
and
if it was
thus
all
they.
the song "Living on a Prayer"?
Okay, but at this point we've just made Emily Blaster, but instead of an Emily Dickinson poem, it's "Living on a Prayer."
Yeah, that's the game.
Okay, well, so what this game is it's Prayer Blaster.
Prayer Blaster. Good. Okay,
All right,
let's move on.
2 minutes and 45 seconds left. That's we did it in almost half the allocated time, or less than half. We're killing it.
Well, I
All
think
right,
part of it is we're like, let's not be bad.
Prayer was a bad.
Yeah, I didn't like that as one, so I just wanted to move on. Which we are, and our next 3 words are not about praying, but they could be, I guess. And here they are: necklace, myth.
Okay. Oh, prayer necklace. Myth.
Yeah, and then riot.
Okay, myths. Okay, all right. Basically the same thing. All right, riot, myth, necklace, myth, and riot. All right, so obviously, so this is like a Dungeon Delvin style game, right? Are you feeling me on that? Big yawn. Wow, we don't have time for this.
I don't know why I got so sleepy.
Timer's running.
Yes. Dungeon, yes. Dungeon, good.
All right, so the myth is that there is so the kingdom, so the story is that the kingdom is in a bad place, but there's a myth that there's a magical necklace that will give the princess or queen, the ruler, the ability to tame the evils of the kingdom and bring it back to peace and prosperity. So you are the noble adventurer who must go down into the darkness, retrieve the amulet, and bring it back up to the top.
Yeah.
And this is, I'm thinking third person over the shoulder.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, I mean, it could
all
be.
Right.
I was just saying that I was thinking it would be more like a Link's Awakening.
Oh, okay. Yes, Link's Awakening. I'm thinking, so it's all one continuous dungeon. And the special thing here is that it has, so it's basically a roguelite, I'm thinking. So each floor has like a pretty set layout, but it can be any one of like hundreds of different floors, and you have to get down, like the goal is to beat like 20 floors, but let's say there's like 250 total floors, so it's just a random 20 of them that you have to fight through.
I mean, I like it less now, but I guess like as a game that's fine. Like I would not enjoy it as much as if it was more like each dungeon is specific, but
okay,
you know me and my roguelite like.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I've basically just described Binding of Isaac, and as a throwback, Claire didn't like that one.
Yeah, if you weren't sure how I felt about it, I didn't like it.
Yeah. All right. So that's like the gameplay.
Yeah.
You get power ups, obviously.
I mean, I think this is
because all video games have power ups.
Yeah, it's a pretty like big game for a rapid fire round, so I think that's kind of cool. It's like a full concept story.
Yeah, but like I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's got like it's easy to explain, which always throws me off because it makes me feel like are we missing some component that like?
So I mean, we are missing the name. We do need a name.
Okay. All right.
Wait. Sorry, I might have missed it. But Riot, how did you work that in?
So that's like so all 3 of the words are purely just story.
Yeah, right.
So the kingdom is in peril above. It's riots are happening, etc. And the necklace, once returned to the queen, princess, king, whatever, will quell the riots and bring peace and prosperity back to
the name that just popped into my head was Neck Myth, like necklace, but Neck Myth.
I'm yes, Neck Myth, Neck Myth, the dungeon crawling, roguelike.
Sure
game.
thing.
With 1 minute left.
Whether or not I would play it is TBD. And by
I mean, would most of us play most of these rapid fire? The only rapid fire, I'll admit it, the only rapid fire round games that I would play are the Learn 'em Up kids.
Yeah, I would play. I think if somehow like us speaking these created them, like if they just like were existing, I would try every single one. I would attempt to play every single one, even the ones I don't think I would like, just to see what they're like, because it's like this just like came out of our brain, you know?
You're right.
But at least give it a try. Would I like playing it? There's a debate. There's a debate.
Not at all.
All right. Are we ready for our final 3 words?
Yes.
Interesting. All right. Deprive.
Deprive.
Foster.
Foster.
Straighten.
Straighten.
So straighten makes me think of teeth. Like the dentist or the orthodontist. But that's only because I was just talking to 2 people who work in the dental industry. Isaac's face, so for those of you listening, Isaac is making a face that's like he does not want this to be about orthodonture, so we'll just take that off the table. We'll just take it away.
I mean, I can't think of anything else that it would be. I was thinking of ropes.
You could straighten like straighten up, like clean up.
Yeah, so like when I think of foster and deprive, I was thinking like depriving your enemy from getting something and fostering your own. Which with straighten makes me think Tug-of-War.
Oh, okay. I kind of like that.
Which is not I don't know if it quite hits the foster and deprive part.
No, not really.
But like if we take the concept of Tug-of-War and we abstract it out. Oh, go ahead.
Because I was thinking like maybe the foster and deprive, like you said, like you have to foster. You're not playing Tug-of-War. It can be kind of like Life is Strange 2, where everything you do impacts Daniel, the young brother, instead of yourself. So you have to foster your champion, and you have to try to deprive the other's champion, and then they battle.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. The deprive is weak there, but that's a thought.
Maybe it's just all about the choices. Like, so it's like you can play your own style, and there's a variety of styles. So like you could be like one of the things that you could do is deprive your champion of something and hope that gives you like an advantage for the upcoming battle. Like if you deprive them of love, they are a cruel and vindictive warrior and focus on their strength or something. But if you foster creativity,
they might use some ingenuity.
Yeah, and then it's like, and then you would just watch like the battle unfold.
Yeah, I think I like that. Yeah, it's kind of different. It might be annoying, but again, we just talked about how these don't have to be fun to play. They just have to be
games. I do like the idea. The indirect control can be fun. I think the problem Life is Strange 2 had, don't correct me if I'm wrong on this, is that Life is Strange 1, you had the fun power person and you weren't just influencing another person.
Right, you had
with fun powers.
Just like, well, let's name it, but since the clock's running, and then I can talk a little more about Life is Strange. Yeah. So I think, let's see. So it's a Tug-of-War. Tug of wills. No, I'm not.
Tugging on my heartstring.
Let's not do that.
Tug.
How about just like. What's like a word like like foster? Like what's a word that means like influencing people? Like
influence.
Yeah. A good influence. Good. You're a good influence. The game. I don't know.
You're a good influence. The game. I'm actually sticking with that one.
Oh no.
You're a good influence. No, wait. We can't use that one because you could be a bad influence.
You're an influence.
The power in your hands. So the problem is There's a game that has the perfect title for this that already. It's called Black and White because you have the power to do good or evil.
We could call it Your and Influence. We could also call it Influence's Power. The Power of the Influence. That just sounds like a weird book.
Influence is power.
What about Influencer?
That sounds like a tagline.
What if it's called Influencer?
Yeah, I was just about to pose that one too. And then people think that it's a game about like Instagram or whatever, but
no, it's not even
gotcha.
close.
All right, so with 20 seconds left, I'm going to say that we got it. Influencer, the game where you influence Tug-of-War champions.
Influencer, a Tug-of-War game.
Actually, okay, I open up the clock again. We've only got 10 seconds left. Boom, Influencer, colon, a Tug-of-War game.
Beautiful. That is our show, our very first video show. Woohoo!
Wow.
You know, if you like this show, if you want to interact with us more, you can, subscribe on YouTube if you're here on YouTube with us right now. You can also subscribe to whatever you listen to podcasts on. That helps a lot. If you want to leave us a review, you can do that on iTunes or Spotify, I think, are the two review platforms, but we would love that. I set up a Spotify poll that is connected to our last episode 26. So check that out. See if you can use it. I would love to see if that's even a cool thing. That's fun. So I think you click on the episode and it's in the episode description is the poll. You can vote in Spotify. Huzzah. If you want to find us on social media, you can do so at Make That Game Pod on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and now YouTube. You can also send us an email at makethatgamepodcast@gmail.com. And you can send us things to honk and bonk, games we should try, words we should make into games, ideas that you have for words we got that we didn't come up with, anything like that. We'd love to hear and see it. I think that covers it. We are going to be working towards a live stream of me playing Stray with motion sickness glasses. So if you're interested...
We have to figure out how to get the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, on the Twitch stream. On the OBS.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to help us with that, give us an email. But we will be doing that on our Twitch, which I did create, which I believe is also Make That Game Pod, because I wanted to keep the only one that's podcast Gmail, so it's easy to remember. Okay, so on Twitch, we are actually just Make That Game. We're just Make That Game, because I'm silly.
No pod, no cast.
No pod, no cast. I'm so sorry I did that to all of us. Well, I guess because that's what what it shows up as, so... But yeah, so you can follow us on Twitch at Make That Game, and hopefully get notified when we finally figure out how we're going to do that. But we will be doing it, and it's going to be fun. And yeah, so if you heard a game today that you like and that you want to exist in the world, we're not going to make it. So we encourage you to go out there and make that
game.